Proverbs, idioms. The absence makes the heart grow fonder. Actions speak louder than words. After the feast comes the reckoning. All that glitters is not gold, and apology keeps the doctor away. Bad news travels fast. Barking dogs seldom bite. Beauty is in the eye of beholder. Beggars can't be choosers. The best things in life are free. Better to live coward than dead hero. Better late than never. Better safe than sorry. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. The bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Birds of a feather flock together. Blood is thicker than water. Charity begins at home. Clothes do not make the man. Curiosity killed the cat. Do as I said, nor as I do. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Don't count the chickens before they are hatched. Don't cry over spilled milk. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a man until you have walked in his boots. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't put all the eggs in one basket. Don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today. Don't put the cart before the horse. Familiarity breeds content. The first step is always the hardest. A fool and his money are soon parted. Forewarned is forearmed. A friend in need is a friend indeed. A friend who shares is a friend who cares. Good things come in small packages. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. Haste makes west. He who hesitates is lost. He who laughs last laughs best. Hindsight is better than foresight. If at first you don't succeed, try again. If you can't beat them, join them. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. In unity there's strength. It never rains, but it pours. It takes two to tango. Leave well enough alone. A leopard cannot change his paws. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. Look before you leap. Love is blind. Love makes the world go round. Make hay while the sun shines. Man does not live by bread alone. A man is known by the company he keeps. Might makes right. Misery loves company. A man is as good as might. Money does not grow on trees. Necessity is the mother of invention. No news is good news. No pain, no gain. Nothing hurts like the truth. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Old habits die hard. One good turn deserves another. One man's gravy is another man's poison. One swallowed is not a summer meat. The pain is mighty, then the sword position is 9/10 of the law. Practice makes perfect. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. The road to hell is paved with good intention. Rome wasn't built in a day. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Squeaking wheel gets the oil. Strike while the iron is hot. There is no honor among thieves. There's more than one way to skin the cat. There is no fool like an old fool. There's no place like home. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Too many cooks spoil the broth. 2 heads is better than 1. 2's company, but 3's crowd. Variety is the spice of life. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. When the cat's away, the mice will play. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You have to be good with the bad. You reap what you sow. You're never too old to learn. Pretty, right? Beautiful. "95 common English proverbs. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Actions speak louder than words. All good things come to an end. All's well that ends well. All roads lead to Rome. All that glitters is not gold. All work and no play makes Jack dull boy. All's fair in love and war. As you make your best, you must lie in it. A bad workman always blames his tools. Barking dogs don't bite. Beauty is only skin deep. Beggars can't be choosers. Better late than never. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. A bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. Clothes do not make the man. Cowards die many times before their deaths. A creaking gate hangs long. Cross the stream before it is swallowed. Cut your coat according to your cloth. Do as you would be done by. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't cross a bridge until you come to it. Don't have too many irons in the fire. Don't make a mountain out of molehill. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put the cart before the horse. The early catches the worm. Every dog has hate day. Every boy has a fearful. Everything comes to him who will wait. An eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. Fine feathers make fine words. Fine words, but no partnerships. First come, first serve. Fools rush and fear the enters. Fear to trade. The forbidden fruit is the sweetest. Give a dog a bad name and hang him. Half a loaf is better than none. Help a lame dog over a stile. Honesty is the best policy. If a thing is worth doing, it is worth doing while. If at first you don't succeed, try again. It's a long lane that has no turning. It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good. It's easy to be wise after the event. It's never too late to be meant. It's no use crying over the split milk. It never rains, but it pours. It takes also some to make a world. It takes two to make it quiet. Learn to walk before you run. Let sleeping dogs lie. Look before you leap. Make the hay while the sun shines. Many hands make light work. A miss is as good as a mile. Money talks. Money more has less speed. Necessity is the mother of invention. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. A new broom sweeps clean. No gain without pain. No news is good news. One good turn deserves another. One swallow doesn't make it somehow. Out of sight, out of mind. Paddle your own canoe. Practice makes perfect. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. The road to hell is paved with good intention. The rolling stone gathers no moss. Rome was not built in a day. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Still waters run deep. A stitch in time saves nine. Strike while the iron is hot. Time and tide wait for no man. Too many cooks spoil the broth. Where one door shuts, another opens. Where the cats are away, the mice will play. Where there's a will, there's a way. While there's life, there is hope. The wish is father to the thought. A word is enough to the wise. A word spoken is past recalling. You can't have your cake and eat it. You can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. You can't run with a hare and hunt with a horse. You can teach an old dog new tricks. You may lead a horse to the water, but you cannot make him drink. You scratch my back and I'll scratch you. The grass is greener on the other side of the fence. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Pretty? Enjoy it? Funny English proverbs. Best funny proverbs. Want to know? If you are not living on the edge, you are taking up too much room. The problem with the gene pool is there is no lifeguard. If you can smile when things go wrong, you already have someone to blame. The older you are, the harder it is to lose weight because your body and your fat have become good buddies. Eat a small toad in the morning and it will be worst thing you do all day. Don't worry about the world coming to an end today. It's already tomorrow in Hong Kong. Law of the bath, when the body is fully immersed in water, the telephone rings. Never rise the hatchet to remove a fly from your friend's forehead. Whoever said money can't buy happiness, didn't know where to shop. On the subject of singing, the frog schools and the lark schools disagree. Let not the sands of time get in your lunch. Red meat is not bad for you. Fuzzy green meat is bad for you. Money is in everything, but it sure keeps the kids in touch. Always remember you're unique, just like everyone else. Never pass up an opportunity to be. At the feast of ego, everyone leaves hungry. Keep the dream alive. Hit the snooze button. Being a coach for that is not the same as being a failure. Being a failure implies that you were actually trying to do something. If you can't afford health insurance, you can always rely on a placebo effect. When opportunity knocks, don't sit there complaining about the noise. Rationalist philosophy, I think, therefore I am. Artist philosophy, I doubt, therefore I might be. And remember, if you don't sin, Jesus died for nothing. Never look down on short people. Never under any circumstances take a sleeping pill and laxative on the same night. Never play leapfrog with a unicorn. If you do not go to other men's funerals, they won't go to yours. Anything is possible if you don't know what you're talking about. It's not whether you win or lose, but how you place the blame. Learn from your parents' mistakes. Practice birth control. Give a person a fish and feed them for a day. Teach a person to use the internet and they won't bother you for weeks. Health nuts are going to feel stupid someday lying in the hospital dying for nothing. Life isn't like a box of chocolate, it's more like a jar of jalapenos. What you do today might burn your butt tomorrow. A man with both feet firmly on the ground is a man who can't get his pants off. Teach a child to be polite and courteous in the home, and when he grows up, he will never be able to age his car out onto a freeway. No one is listening until you fart. Never hold your farts in. They travel up your spine into your brain, and that's where your creepy ideas come from. The probability of being bossed is directly proportional to the stupidity of the act. Don't assume malice for what stupidity can explain. Two wrongs are only one beginning. The sooner you fall behind, the more time you'll have to catch up. Nice, right? Proverbs are fun. I love proverbs. Don't you all do too? A stumble may prevent a fall. All good things come to those who wait. Everyone must row with the oars he has. Every path has its puddle. God tempers the wind to the short lamp. One of these days is none of these days. Revenge is a dish but served cold. Worry often gives a small thing a bad shadow. Beauty without grace is like a hook without bait. Caught between a rock and a hard place, caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. Out of the frying pan into the fire, might as well as hanged for a sheep as a lamb. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Two sides of the same coin. In for a penny, in for a pound. Don't count your chickens before they are hatched. Don't cross the bridges before you get to them. A stitch in time saves 9. Time and tide wait for no man. To listen is to learn, to understand is to inspire. A lie well stuck is as good as the truth. A bird in the hand is worth the two. A miss is as good as a mile. All good things come to those who wait. Birds of a feather flock together. Clothes make the man. Don't cross the bridges before you come to them. Doubt is the beginning of wisdom. Good things come in small packages. Great starts make great finishes. He who hesitates is lost. Practice makes perfect. Silence is gold in the pen is mighty than the sword. You are never too old to learn. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Wise men think alike. A man's reach should exceed his grasp. Half a loaf is better than none. Time and tide. Oh, wow. Contrary proverbs. See? We'll get you. A bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. A man's reach should exceed his grasp. A miss is as good as a mile, but half a loaf is better than none. All good things come to those who wait, but time and tide wait for no man. Birds of a feather flock together, but opposites attract. Clothes make the man, but never just a man. Book by its cover. Don't cross the bridges before you come to them, but forewarned is forearmed. Doubt is the beginning of wisdom, but faith will move mountains. Good things come to those in small packages, but the bigger the better. Great starts make great finishes, but it ain't over till it's over. He who hesitates is Lord, but foolish rush in fear the angels fear to tread. Practice makes perfect, but all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Silence is golden, but the squeaky wheel gets the grease. The pen is mightier than the sword, but actions speak louder than words. You are never too old to learn, but you can't teach an old dog new tricks. What good for the goose is good for the gander, but one man's meat is another man's poison. Wise men think alike, but fools seldom differ. Proverb humor. A penny saved makes Jack a dull boy. A penny saved is a penny earned, and all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Absence makes the heart fonder. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Abstinence makes the heart go wander. Chest makes west, hest makes west. If practice makes perfect and nobody's perfect, then why practice? Practice makes perfect and nobody is perfect. The early bird catches the worm, but it is the early worm that gets caught. The early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. The early bird catches the worm. Time wounds all heals, time heals all wounds. Where there's a will, there's relative. Where there's a will, there's a way. Circumflory proverbs. A disposition towards inquiry deprived the feline of its vital state. Curiosity killed the cat. Elementary satirical. Technique initially applied obviate the need of the repetitive similar actions to the square of 3. A stitch in time saves 9. Exigency is the matriarch of ingenious contrivance. Necessity is the mother of invention. The stylus is more potent than the clemo. The pen is mightier than the saw. There is illumination at the termination of the subterranean excavation. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Wow. Home is where you hang the email of this species is more deadly than their mail. A journey of 1,000 sites begins with a single click. You can't reach a new mouse, old trick clicks. Great groups from little icons grow. Speak softly and carry a cellular phone. C is the root of all directories. Don't put all your hypes in one home page. Pentium wise, pain and paper foolish. The modem is the message. Too many clicks spoil the browse. The geek shall inherit the earth. The chat has 9 lives. Don't bite more than you. Facts is stranger than fiction. What boots you must come down. Windows will never cease. In gates we trust. Virtual reality is its own reward. Modulation in all things. A user and his leisure time are soon parted. There's no place like home.com. Know what to expect before you connect. Oh, what a tangled website. When first we practice. Speed, thrills. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him to use the net and he won't bother you for weeks. New proverbs. If you're too open-minded, your brains will fall out. Age is very high price to pay for maturity. Before you criticize someone, walk a mile in his shoes. That way, if he gets angry, he'll be a mite away and barefoot. Going to church doesn't make you a holy person, and more than going to garbage makes you a mechanic. Garage makes you a mechanic. Artificial intelligence is no match for natural stupidity. A clear conscience is usually a sign of bad memory. A closed mouth gathers no feet. If you must choose between two evils, pick the one you have never tried before. My idea of housework is to sweep the room with a glance. Not one shred of evidence supports the notion that life is serious. It's easier to get forgiveness than permission. I have found at any age going braless pulls all the wrinkles out of my face. For every action, there's an equal and opposite government program. If you look like a passport picture, you probably need the trim. Always yield to temptation because it may not pass your way again. A conscience is what hurts when all your other parts feel so good. Eat well, stay fit, die anyway. No husband has ever been shot while doing the dishes. Men are from earth, women are from earth. Deal with it. It's amazing what you don't find it if you don't look for it, especially if it's not there. A first grade teacher collected old well-known proverbs. She gave each child to her class the first half of the proverb and had them come up with the rest. As you shall make your bed, so shall you mess it up. Better to be safe than punch a fifth grader. Strike while the bug is closed. It's always darkest before daylight saving time. You can lead a horse to the water, but how? Don't bite the hand that looks dirty. A miss is as good as a mister. You can't teach an old dog new math. If you lie down with the dogs, you will sink in the morning. The pen is mightier than the pits. An idle mind is the best way to relax. Where there's smoke, there's pollution. Happy the bride who gets all the presents. A penny saved is not much. Two's company, three is the mosquitoes. Laugh and the whole world laughs with you. Cry and you have to blow your nose. Children should be seen and not spanked and grounded. When the blind lead the blind, get out of the way. Better late than pregnant. Hi, my son Jackson is 11 and completed his proverb like this. Every dog has his kennel. A tree never hits an automobile except in self-defense. Wow. Oh my God, so beautiful. Humorous, wise old saying. A balanced diet is a cookie in each hand. A blonde said, I was worried with my mechanic might try to rip me off. I was believed when he told me all he needed was turn signal fluid. A bulldog can whip a skunk, but sometimes it's not worth it. A clean house is a sign of misspent life. A clear conscience is usually a sign of bad memory. A closed mouth gathers no feet. A deaf husband and blind wife always. A happy couple. A diplomat is one who thinks twice before saying nothing. A flatterer never seems upset. It flatters always takes his word. A friend is need in a pest. A husband is someone who takes out the trash and gives the impression he has cleaned the whole house. A man must serve his time in every trade except sexual critics are ready-made. A man's got to do what a man's got to do. A woman must do what he can't. A solemn, unsmiling, sanctimonious, old iceberg who looked like he was waiting for a vacancy in the Trinity. A teacher's job is to take a room full of live wires and make sure that they are all well grounded. A new young MT, when doing his residency in OP, was quite embarrassed performing female pelvic exams to cover his embarrassment he had unconsciously formed the habit of whistling. The middle-aged lady upon whom he was performing this exam suddenly burst out laughing and further embarrassed him. He looked up from his work and sheepishly said, I'm sorry. Was I tickling you? She replied, no, doctor, but the song you were whistling was. I wish I was an Oscar Mayer winner. Age is a very high price to pay for maturity. All the world is mad, saved for me and thee, and sometimes I wonder about thee. All would live long, but none would be old. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, but an onion a day keeps everyone away. An old woman is nursing home, lifted the dress and shouted, super sex, super sex. Every time she came up with an old gentleman, finally she did this again in front of an old man who hesitated and said, finally, I'll have soup. Anyone who doesn't think there are two sides to an argument is probably in one. Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Before you criticize someone, walk mile in his shoes. That way, if you get angry, he'll be a mile away and backward. Being young is a fault that diminishes daily. Blessed is he that can laugh at himself, he will never cease to be amused. Blessed is he that expects nothing, for he shall never be disappointed. Candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker. Cheer up, remember the less you have, the more there is to gain. Common sense is the most widely shared commodity in the world, for every man is convinced that he is well supplied with credit cards are like mosquitoes. You can keep them away for a while, but sooner or later they will be back to suck your blood. Creditors have better memories than debtors. Dear God, I have a problem. It's me. Defend me from my friends. I can defend myself from my enemies. Do what you think is right in your heart. You'll be criticized anyway. Dying while young is a boon in old age. Eat a live toad for the first thing in the morning and nothing worse can happen to you for the rest of the day. Eat well, stay fit, die anyway. Epitaph for scolding wife by her husband. Here's my poor brigade's cop doth lie. She's at rest, and so am I. Everyone has the right to be stupid, but you're abusing the privilege. Everything is funny as long as it's happening to someone else. Experience is a wonderful thing. It enables you to recognize a mistake when you make it again. Few things are harder to put up with, and a good example, fish and visitors stink after 3 days. Fond pride of dress is sure an empty curse. Fancy you consult your purse. Gingerbread man is a perfect man. He's cute, he's sweet, and if he gives you any head, you can bite his head off. God could be everywhere, and therefore he made mothers. God works wonders now and then. Behold a lawyer, an honest man, Golf, a good walk ruined. Great talkers should be cropped, for they have no need of ears. Happiness is merely a rumination of me. He can compress the most worst and the smallest idea of any man I know. He has all the virtues I dislike and none of the vices I admire. He has delusions of adequacy. He has never been known to use a word that might send a reader to the dictionary. He has no enemies but an intensely disliked by his friends. He has Van Gogh's ear for music. He's a self-made man and worships his creator. He's not only dull himself, but he's the cause of dullness in others. He's simply a shiver looking for a spine to run up. He loves nature in spite of what it did to him. He that drinks beer thinks beer. He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. He would have a short length. Let him borrow money to be repaid at Easter. He uses statistics as a drunken man uses lampposts for support rather than illumination. He who dies with the most toys is still tame. He's gone and forgot nothing but to say farewell to his creditors. His mother should have thrown him away and kept the stock, housework, then probably can kill you. How many observe Christ's birthday, how few his precepts. I believe the only time the world beats apart to my door is when I'm in the bathroom. I can't be out of money. I still have checks left. I did not fall off the turnip truck just yesterday. I didn't attend the funeral, but I sent a nice letter saying I approved of it. I feel so miserable without you. It's almost like having you here. I have a new philosophy. I'm only going to dread one day at a time. I've never killed a man, but I have read many attributes with great pleasure. I never let my schooling interfere with my education. I refuse to enter a battle of wits with an unarmed man. I saw few die of hunger of eating 100,000. I was caring for a woman from Kentucky and asked, so how's your breakfast this morning? It's very good, except for the Kentucky jelly. I can't seem to get used to the taste. The patient replied. I then asked to see the jelly, and the woman produced a foil packet labeled KY jelly. If a frog didn't hop, he wouldn't bump his butt. If a patient dies, the doctor killed him. If he gets well, the saints have saved him. If at first you don't succeed, skydiving is not for you. If at first you don't succeed, you're about average. If ifs and ands were pots and pans, there would be no work for tinker's hands. If something can go wrong, it will. For business persons, if the manu gets sleeper, but the flies are by. If the baby is happy, don't try to make it happier. If you aren't careful, your kids will suck the marrow right out of your bones. If you must choose between two evils, pick the one you have never tried before. If you want to be criticized, marry. If you wish to die young, make your physician your head. If you would lose a troublesome visitor, lend him money. If you are going to be dumb, you have got to be dumb. In God we trust, all others pay cash. Instead of getting married again, I'm going to find a woman I don't like and just give her a house. It is better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. It's better to swallow words than to have to eat them later. It is easier to get forgiveness than to get permission. It takes less time to do something right than to explain why it wasn't wrong. It's not easy being green. It was cold winter day. An old man walked onto the frozen lake, cut a hole in the ice and dropped it in his fishing line. He was there for almost an hour without even a nibble. When a young boy walked out into the ice, cut a hole in the ice not far from him, the young boy dropped his fishing line, and minutes later he looked a large-mouthed bass. The old man couldn't believe his eyes, but chalked it up to paint luck. But shortly hereafter, the young boy pulled in another large catch. The young boy kept catching fish after fish. Finally, the old man couldn't take it any longer. Son, I have been here for over an hour without even a nibble. You have been here only a few minutes and caught a half dozen fish. How do you do it? The boy responded. Roo, raff, roo, reaper, rums, ram, ar, raram. What was that? The old man asked. Again the boy responded. Roo, raff, roo, reap, rad, rums, ram. Look, said the old man, I can't understand what you're saying. The boy split the bait into his hand and said, You have to keep the worms warm. I've a hard, I've had a perfectly wonderful evening, but this wasn't it. I have just learned of his illness. Let's hope it's nothing trivial. I've suffered a great many catastrophes in my life. Most of them never happened. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. Lazy people work harder. Learn from the mistakes of the others. You can't do long enough to make them all yourself. Life is a big headache on a noisy street. Life isn't like a box of chocolate. It's more like a jar of jalapenos. What you do today might burn you as tomorrow. Life's too short for chase. Life's hard like a helmet. Long tongue, short hands. Love is blind, but not the neighbors. Love your neighbors, yet don't pull your hair. Wow, 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 beautiful. I don't know, I enjoyed that. Truly, we'll keep going. Whether you like it or not, I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. So would I get better, and then no complaints from either of us, right? Love you all.